We will now call a common council meeting of March 7th, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Kirkowski.
Here.
Flork.
Here.
Alderman Dukniak is excused. Alderwoman Marshall.
Here.
Gale.
Here.
Guzekowski.
Here. Everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Dawn, you want to start us off?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 3, approval of minutes from February 20th, 2023. Everybody please take a review of them. If there's any discussion, please take the floor. And when you are satisfied, there's no errors, omissions, corrections, or discussion, motion please.
Marshall moves to approve the minutes of February 20th, 2023.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call.
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye. And item 4 is a presentation on the Elk Creek Farmers Market.
To the Planning Commission, and that same thing happened. Mayor Bolender said, "Dawn, can you lead us?" And I had no idea. Like went blank, didn't know the first word. Yeah, and made a huge fool of myself. So yeah, so thank that. So yes,
You're
yes.
welcome.
So I'll never ever forget now. Restart it that way. So I am here to report on the 2022 season and plans for the 2023 season. If you guys have any questions, stop me at any time through the presentation, okay? Little bit about the market real quick though. We are a maker-producer market. So everyone who sells at the market has to have made their thing that they're selling. Sometimes there's salespeople, but just know that there's no resale at our market. And we are a no prepared food market. So we are a true farmer's market. That was the goal when we started 5 years ago. And so you can't get like donuts or empanadas. We are a market where somebody should come, do their shopping for the week, get their fresh produce, and then leave. And the market is set up that way, and it achieves those goals by doing, at the top of the market near City Hall are the fresh fruits and vegetables and the farmers. And then down on the other side of the square are all the other things, including the craft and the makers. So just so you know, you got that going. So some of the 22 highlights were we grew the newsletter. We have a lot of subscribers now that we reach every week. We added 4 additional weeks in May. We used to start in June, mid-June. So now we started in mid-May. We had $24,000 in sponsorships. We had a lot of collaborations with city and other entities around the city. We got an A+ rating for accessibility. I mean, that was pretty easy. We have a brand new facility that we run the market in, but we also have great parking. We have the indoor bathrooms. They have all been measured and made sure that they're for disabled individuals. And we are the #1 in the southeastern Wisconsin for accessibility. We've got some national ranking, and that's based on a whole bunch of criteria. And then it was very successful and safe. We had 1 theft of product, happened to be a bag that was on a table that just had rocks in it because it was their sample, and 1 minor emergency, and it happened to be that the fire department was here. So a lady had bumped her knee. And then the food share program. Oop, go back one more time. Right there in the food share program, we have a $20 match program. We matched $11,400, so $27,000 was the market went to our farmers. So that's extra money to our farmers directly through the sponsorship of the WIC and SNAP. And IBW, Local 494 is our sponsor for that. So they covered those costs. So this was just a big, it's like my favorite thing that we do at the market is provide. It's for, SNAP and WIC, which is, poverty families, nutritionally at risk. Everybody stops to thank us. And it's just a great program that the city of Oak Creek does. And we're one of the only ones that match $20. So if you have $20, you bring it to the market, we give you $40. And we're one of the only ones that do it for seniors in the whole state. So a little bit about our farmers. We have 13 farmers this last season, all of which will be returning. And then in 2023, we will add to that. So we have 21 farmers this season. There's so many that are women-owned farming their land. So that's kind of really unique for us. In Milwaukee, an average market usually has 3 farmers that bring produce. So we're far surpassing that. I was just told on Saturday that Simon, which is our biggest producer that we have on the square, who has been at 5 or 6 markets, he helped me start this market and kind of taught me some ropes. Not necessarily the most pleasant man to work with, but he will only be doing our market this year. He is pulled out of all other markets because we've been so successful. Will be his own market. So we have numbers to date. So when we started this, the farmer's market, I didn't really come from a farmer's market background. I probably had been to a couple, but I ran it more as an event and then requested every vendor turn in their numbers by Sunday of the next day so that I could use those numbers and that data to see if we're growing or not. So we're one of the only markets that do that. But really going forward, I have had training all this week, all last week, and talking to the other farmers market managers, especially in the state of Wisconsin. They're going to start doing that because they can see the need for it or the benefits for it. So we held steady, through COVID. A couple of those years are COVID, and we still were able, when the food supply sources were going, that the grocery stores were empty, we still had enough produce, and we still held our own, even though, we were going through COVID. But last year we grew. So we increased by 95%. We are now the fastest growing market in the state of Wisconsin. We are there, to support these small businesses. So that $700,000 went to, every penny went, $703,000 went to small businesses, farmers in southeastern Wisconsin. So we are giving healthy options to our community. 1 in 3 customers are visitors to our city. And we get that kind of data from signing up for a newsletter. I ask for your zip code. That'll tell me whether you're here or there. And the more we go in 5 years, the newsletter retains those. So we're getting more and more from out of the city. We have truly become right now a destination market. We are the market that people will now go to that used to go to South Shore, go to West Dallas. On Saturday mornings will be the destination market. So with $700,000 dollars in sales, it's easier to get sponsorship money. So people know that people are coming. So here are the 2023 sponsors. We're waiting on IEBW, which will be fantastic to give us $15,000 to cover the SNAP and WIC program. Most of the rest of these are taken care of. So I estimate we'll have about $50,000 in sponsorship money to start the market. And we've increased the vendor fee. So now we'll have $30,000 in the bank to start for the vendors. Just a little bit about those logos. Food Share is a SNAP and WIC program. Sprouts are where we have a kids program free every market. The Taste a Tent is it's something that I started. What you do is you be able to come to the market and try a fruit or a vegetable each market for free. You get a little sample. It's a great way for kids to try something, as well as a market. Even the carrots are expensive at the market. So if you don't know your fruit and vegetable and you want to try it before you buy it, we have everything that's in season at that time. Taste a tent. And now it's really kind of one of the things that everybody stops at first. And then senior days, something brand new. 4 times during the season, I'm going to get a sponsor, and then we're going to do something special for seniors. Cooking, planting, and then a craft, and then, chair yoga. So we got sponsors, we'll bring that in, and so we'll be able to support something for the market. This is some of the fun stuff we did last year. By adding excitement to the market, having special days, it not only has people coming and excited to come to the market, but it really does a lot for our vendors. Like I showed you, we have like a 98% return rate because they're having fun with selling on Saturdays too, right? So that makes it a little more fun for everybody. We had chess day, we had corn day, we had the Badger football day, pickle day, the little girl in the corner, and then a puzzle exchange. So we just do a lot of stuff that doesn't cost a lot of money, team up with different partners, and add some excitement. So this year we have lots of excitement. So we've added a whole bunch more days in there. We'll have at least 55 vendors. We might even have more than that every week. We'll have the Taste of Tent, Sprouts activities, live music, and we're introducing something called a Kids Coin, which is covered, the cost is covered by Martin Law Office. And so every kid that comes to the market will get a coin worth $2, and they can buy their own fresh fruits and vegetables and be able to buy something and try to create new market people even when they're small. So, and then we'll have 17 special days, and now we'll add one that's for the robotic day. So I know that everybody's, it's not just a farmer's market with just those vendors. There's a lot of community involvement within it too. So because of the Sprouts activities, so what you just know that you can't buy into the market. A business cannot come and say, Dawn, I'll give you $500 if I can have a spot. That's not something that we do. Try to keep it as clean of a whole bunch of businesses. We don't want somebody selling, windows at the market. So because of that, we open up the Sprouts activities. If you have a business and you can create a Sprouts activity for kids to learn something about healthy eating or whatever the activity might be, you can come in and then you are representing your business at the market. So we do that. We have sponsors for the 17 special days. We have partnerships. Yoga 6 is going to come in and do the senior chair class. We offer one spot every month for a nonprofit, every week for a nonprofit. So we have Independence First came in, or Big Brothers Big Sisters, whoever might be a nonprofit can come in for one time during the season and talk to the community. Can't really sell anything, but it's a great way to get exposure, as well as a lot of city organizations and businesses in the Drexel Town Square are always welcome to participate, free of charge. So really, even though we have all these farmers vendors, we really have an opportunity for 117 other businesses to participate in our farmers market from Oak Creek. So we had a pop-up market. Saw some of you there. We tried something new. We tried an indoor market to see if the community would want that. We invited anybody who was from the 2023 season coming up, could come in and have a booth. Divine offered the space free of charge, so we offered it to the vendors free of charge. And it was crazy. It was a huge success. It says $25,000. It was 26 by today's number. I'm still waiting for a few numbers. The vendors told me that they're the ones who know their clients or their customers, and they thought these were all new faces. There were some of the old faces, but there was a lot of new faces. We really outgrew that space, even though it was unique and kind of cool. And everybody had, it was fun. We all hadn't seen each other for all season, so it was a good time especially for the vendors. I think I spent, almost all of the 4 hours directing traffic so that nobody got hurt. It was just horribly congested in in the parking lot. But the idea was to see if, would the community support a winter market? Vendors have been asking me for all 5 years that we've had a market can you please have a winter market? Because there really only is, there's Millingers, kind of a little different setup, but then there's one indoor market, winter market in downtown Milwaukee. It's not, it maybe has 20 vendors. We welcomed 40 vendors at Divine. For April, I think I have almost 60 vendors that want to get in. We're gonna have to go outside, but we'll test the waters and see if there's something. Maybe it was just a great day and it was a fluke, but we'll go to the April 8th and figure out if maybe it's something that the city wants to, or the community wants. So here's a couple things that we have in progress for the next year. We are going to hire a market day coordinator. I'm getting too old to set up tents every day or every Saturday. So we're gonna have somebody hire a staff person to come in and set tents up and set the market up so that the two of us can work the market together. I am excited about using new safety barriers that the police department has, paid for them, but that the police department has. So that's, safety is a really big thing for me. So I'm kind of glad, I'm really glad that we have those. We have pulled the financials from the tourism budget so that I can see a monthly report and kind of be more on top of the monthly the financials. We changed all the applications to online applications, which was a huge thing for Leslie to help with, but will mean that those vendors don't have to apply with the 30 pieces of all their insurance and all their forms that they have to sign every time. It's all in one spot, easy accessible. So that's a huge difference. An event trailer, so DPW doesn't have to deliver things every Saturday morning. We'll have a trailer. I'm hoping still that we have a trailer.
On its way.
Okay, and so that'll be easier. We'll pull the trailer out there and we'll all be able to empty, set up much easier. We're gonna try to sell maybe merchandise, gifts, cards. There's a real need for it. Everybody asks, they wanna get their teacher a gift card at the end of the year, things like that, so you'd be able to buy a gift card at the market. And some new, nicer signage we're working on for Drexel Town Square, instead of just a banner with some poles, something semi-permanent until we can make it the really, So, but all this, before we go into kind of the bigger picture, could not be done without the support. Mayor Dan, Andrew, staff has been, I couldn't get everything done that I need to do without having the back end of the city behind what I do. So, thank you for that. So then here's a couple of different things. So, sending me to a conference might not necessarily be the greatest thing because I have now all these new ideas. But with great success takes some responsibility, and so I think how I see the market going forward is that we play a bigger role than just, selling some carrots on the side of the road, kind of thing. So these are some of the plans that I want to start to think about and do some research on. Bringing the farmers and the residents together to create sustainability, farmers or gardens in our community. A big thing that everyone is talking about now is how young people don't know how to cook, and they wish somebody would be teaching them. And grandmas don't teach their children their grandchildren as much. So maybe going into some specialty, healthy food recipes based on some of the nationalities that we have in our community, and featuring those, and then highlighting the places you can go and get those different ingredients, and and kind of talk about how we can not just have a cooking show, but maybe we're sharing history as well, the history of Oak Creek and history of the farm tours. This is we have people that are the farmers are willing to bring people to their farms and kind of try to teach them so that they have respect for the process, and just don't understand why that carrot costs $4, but maybe if they're interested, they go out and take a tour of the farm. So more of a advocating for more education. Like I said before, the SNAP and WIC, the food share program is really important to me. But I think we're falling short. If we have a budget, or if we sold $700,000 in food, but only 27,000 went in SNAP, I'm falling short in telling people that we offer what we offer. And so getting out there in the community, inviting more of the SNAP and WIC people, and how we are, what the community looks like, and reaching those people to have them come to the market and double the money. And then another thing that we're going to start this season right away, kind of fell in my lap, is a farm kind of incubator, farm boutique. So we're going to take a vendor, and I have Pickle Jim is his name, because he doesn't have a name. He's just starting out. He's going to get he's talked to the city and the state about what he needs as far as his permits. And so I will mentor him. I will find another vendor that will mentor him, and we will kind of spearhead the next generation of what a farmer's market vendor looks like. And so we'll give them like 3 booths for free, and talk to the community about him, and try to get him up and running, and see if do because we're going to, at some point, vendors fall along the side. Everybody retires, especially farmers. So whatever we can do as a community, as I am the market manager, I want to do to help make that successful. Questions?
Questions, comments for Dawn? Steve, you want to start on the end?
Sure. Dawn, I'm like really impressed. I go to the market, and I'm blown away at the background that you've put together with regards to this market. I mean, just this information you presented. You walk around, and I never noticed that there's no food being prepared. It's I guess I'm speechless, but you take up Drexel Town Square, and it's great that you guys are out there. Do you have any type of involvement with the businesses around Drexel Town Square? I mean, they're benefiting from the crowd that comes there. Maybe somebody will pop in the Five Guys for a burger or something like that. Would there be such an opportunity for those businesses to get involved with their gift cards in the program that you're presenting, maybe to get those folks to come back to Drexel Town Square and use the gift card, say at Water Street Brewery or Mod Pizza and stuff like that? And also, you don't have to answer that. It's just
No,
I
I can, especially the ones right around the square. We have a lot of interaction.
Okay.
So Bel Air comes out on the street and sells on the street free of charge, because it's their we're blocking their streets. Cubanitas they choose to they get to stay open. They get open at 9 a.m. just for people to come in. We sometimes work with Chocolate Factory. Yoga 6 will be the yoga instructor in the new yoga facility. So Mathnasium is one of my Sprout people. So all those in the direct area are for sure at the market at some point.
Okay.
It's I reach out to the farther ones. Sometimes they'll supply gift cards for a special promotion. Or,
Okay.
Things like that. But everybody knows about it. Everybody is invited every year. I usually hold a group meeting of all the vendors, and all of them bring food in for that meeting. So everybody is
Okay.
Everybody plays really well.
And you may already do this, so forgive me if it's old news, but perhaps the health department, they reach out to low income families with regards to their programs, and they might be a place you can go to help spread the word about what you do for the programs that you mentioned tonight. So
Yes, they do. We play.
Oh, great.
Their health department is out maybe 4 times a season, out on the square talking to the community, and they as well help me with the SNAP and WIC reach.
lastly, I want to know more about the salsa contest, because I make some pretty good salsa, and I'd be the elected officials representative at the salsa event.
I will keep that in mind. Right now, we have limited it to restaurants, because there's some liability if somebody's just bringing in a bowl from their home. you know, and everybody's got to taste it. And I'm like, oh, maybe we just stay with a tried and true, you know, with a.
I'll just serve it to these
Okay, just
folks that
us.
come here then. Okay. All right. Really impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg?
Just to echo what Alderman Kirkowski said, the growth over the past year is definitely impressive. It sounds like the indoor one was a success and more vendors want to come around for that. Do you feel that you, as it grows, are having to turn people away, or the space in the town square at all is kind of limiting who can come to the market? And is there any, I guess, thoughts or plans for future areas around Drexel Town Square to kind of expand a little bit? I know it's limited on space, but is there anywhere around Drexel Town Square that might be able to be utilized to continue to grow this?
Well, there's a couple of things to, you know, we saw huge growth, right? So we've only had, with that $700,000 was only 45 vendors. So I am now I've added an additional 10. We'll go up the street like we do for just Fall Fest, I think is the only time we ever go up the street other than when we reorg for dog days. So we will add 10, 15 new vendors. And I have a waiting list of probably 40. So yeah, with that upgrade, everybody heard about us and everyone filled out an application. So we can pick and choose. The problem is, are we going to go too big, too fast? You know, all those things. Then you're spreading that 700. Then nobody's, you know, making the amount of money that they thought. You know, all those kind of things. And we got to keep the farmers. The farmers are the ones that are limited. There's only so many. So that's kind of where I'm working. But the market, I mean, the square is huge. You know, we could do something like Madison. You know, there's so many things we can do. Be aware that trying to keep off the grass, that's also not accessible by wheelchair. You know, all those kind of things in there. So we try to keep it on the street, keep that A+ accessibility. So yeah, working on all that, but really want this, whatever I do today, tomorrow, to be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, for this to be really still, you know, a viable market where people go get their fresh fruits and vegetables and eat healthier and, you know, come together on a Saturday morning. You know, I won't be here, but somebody, you know, I'm really looking at that long term, not just to make it, you know, $1 million in sales next year, because that's fine. But if we haven't done all the other stuff to grow it in the other ways, then that, you know, then it's falling short.
Thank you.
Staff member, do you have, is there a job description out? Did I miss it?
Yes, I meet with HR on Thursday, but there
Okay.
is a job description written.
And what do you, can I ask what you're looking for? Are you looking for somebody younger, almost like a mentoring position, somebody that might want to step in to what you do down the road?
Yep, could be,
Okay.
as well as doing more physical things. You know,
All
there's
right.
4 tents, there's, you know, 20 tables, you know, there's a lot of that kind of stuff, setting stuff up. And, you know, when it's, you know, 100 degrees out, I'm way too old to be doing that, so. So yes, that'll be posted however that works. Mm-hmm.
All right, Andrew?
Thanks, Dan. So really impressive growth, Don. Obviously, that speaks for itself, but really the brand is really, really strong. And the reputation is very, very strong. Obviously, that feeds into the growth, but just want to thank you for all your efforts because it gets better every year. And if we could all only get better every year, that's a good year. But a little history here. We did not know Mayor Dan's cadence as a staff back in 2017 quite yet. And what we learned was Dan has a lot of really, really good ideas. And people in my position say, you've never had a bad one, Dan. Just too big and too bold to pull off right now. But this was one of those things that I was relatively new to the organization. Dan, I think you were only elected like 5 or 6 months. And we had just minted a new ambitious first ever strategic plan. And in like September and October, this was like the second or third time Dan brought up, you know, let's really do this. I don't know if we had a good vision for it or not, or if you did, Dan. But we didn't know that when you mentioned things 2, 3, and 4 times that it's time to act now. So we got that down. But we were sitting here in September, and despite that cadence that we now know, I was like, I don't think we're ready to do this. So just to acknowledge you, Mayor Dan, for saying we're doing this. I understand that we're going to try to put something together in 6 or 8 months. You know, you found a way with partnering with Dawn and turning Dawn loose on this market to start it up that first year and not try to think of everything to make it perfect that first year. Because I'm sure it wasn't, and we've had a lot of growing pains, and we continue to have growing pains in the back of house stuff that we continue to work through, continuous improvement. So, Dan, I want to thank you for pushing us way out of our comfort zone with 6 or 8 months to go before you wanted to open our first ever farmers market, because it happened because of that, because of that ambition that you had. But again, Dawn, thank you. Look forward to we certainly direct us now a significant portion of our income, household income, to the farmers market every week, and I rarely go, so I guess I'll leave that there. But we love it. The winter market was a huge success per Erica at home. When she got back, she said it was packed, and really good things to come. Just want to end on this. I know we don't want to crowd the market and co-locate events and things like that, but when you gave this presentation at the Tourism Commission, it was just a little spark clicked and said, this already is the foundation of our community social calendar in the summer. So what can we do to parlay those folks, those 1 out of 3 who are visitors, to go to the thing that we're doing at Abendschein Park at 3 p.m. or stay in Drexel Town Square for the afterlude, if you will, to what the farmers market. I think that's something we can leverage and really make our other events more successful. So thank you.
Appreciate you bringing this up. I saw this.
Oh,
ago,
you've seen it.
So it was. I thought it was very interesting and would be very useful for you guys. I'm glad you guys were able to hear the story and.
I was just going to say the same thing. Thank you very much. Every weekend I come, it's random days, and there's the people are coming from all walks of life, and they're here to see different things, but regular things that they're expecting to see, and they're coming back because they know it's here, and they know they're going to get quality, A1 quality. So I just can't tell you how much it's great to see this grow. And the branding is really what it's all about. So it's really something awesome thing.
Okay, go ahead, Steve.
I think I'm going to say what the mayor's going to say, that this event defines the city as a great community. The fact that we all get together and put forth an event like this, and then you have people coming from the outside spending their Saturdays in Oak Creek, with the visitors and stuff like that, and then Dawn, you make it work, and you have a crew that makes it work, and we have city departments that work with you to make it work, and it's just a great event, and that's what you do, is you want to put forth Oak Creek on a good light, and you do it well, and overall we do it well. And did I steal your thunder? I was trying to steal your thunder.
I'm going a whole different way on it.
Okay, well, anyway, I just want to add that. I mean, it makes the city look so good, the work that you guys do.
Now the critical stuff. So, I give Dawn a hard time all the time. I do about this. I do it because, one, I like teasing you and working you up, but really it's time to come clean. This market is what it is because of Dawn's passion for it and her commitment. I got a saying that you can't fake sincerity, and she is sincere about this. And she's the one that built the relationship with these. She went out and found them. She's taken me to other markets to go basically introduce myself to other vendors. For example, we went to West Allis a couple winters ago. It was an odd winter market. we went, I had to bring a bunch of cards, we had a talk. You must have picked up half a dozen vendors.
Yeah,
That
probably
day.
about 5 of them.
This is the stuff she's doing, you know, like you say, behind the scenes that you don't see. A lot of the work goes into the market during the week. You follow the Facebook posts. She's been posting all winter long about things. The sponsorships, she's gone out and helped earn them. We've taken her, you know, to the river, I guess, so to speak, but she's been able to bring back the water, so to speak, also. I want to bring up Snap and Wick. That was strictly her program. She's very passionate about helping those in the community most in need. Came up with the idea to do it. Came to, of course, just go for it, and we'll work it out in finance. Sorry about that for your time, but we had to adjust to that. You had to find a volunteer to work that. You got to keep track of those dollars. Federal dollars, where they go. That program's throughout the entire state, if not southeastern Wisconsin. Those dollars come from all over. She then looked for a sponsor. I took her out to IBEW. That is my home electrical local. They were generous to match $10,000. They're the only ones in the state doing it. She presented to them a week ago to up their game. So they're looking at upping their game and bringing that back. Quite amazing. I can't tell you how many elderly people I see at the market, and I know personally, that take advantage of that. And they live in this community. So, I mean, right there is a service. I think at the heart of it, that's what really makes this market different. And the vendors tell me that. I'm around in these markets. The vendors are like, it's the kids' games, it's the community, it's the welcoming of the dogs, you name it. It's well put together, it's well run, and like I said, Steve, I think you said, it is our single largest community gathering event. You don't hear anybody griping about parking anymore. People get it. But they come in. They do hit the other businesses, and it's really successful. We got a great foundation going on. This year, the event trailer. I'm going to shamelessly plug that because we got a donation from Dairy Energy Land Solutions of a trailer upwards to $21,000 to house the farmers market equipment. Make it easier for the setup and DPW to handle. So not only that, it'll be all tagged out with Oak Creek paraphernalia. So it'll serve as advertisement as well as it's done at DPW or anywhere else used in the city. So very impressive. You know, some of your ideas are great, and as Andrew said, using the market to tag into other things. The Fall Fest happens directly after the farmers market. Our Fall Fest is one of our largest events. Last year we tried cafe following up the farmers, and we started cafe within the market because of the foot traffic. So anything connected to that market in the square has got a head start right there just because of what's going on. So congratulations to you, and by the way, your family as well, because Dawn brings her family in, pushes her husband around, makes him do a lot of
Cheap
stuff.
labor.
On top of her son and friends and relatives as well. So on behalf of the city, thank them for us. So congratulations, very good. Okay, item 5, consideration of a motion to concur with the mayor's appointment to celebrations filling a 3-year term expiring in 4 of 24 to Mary Geis, 3580 East Oakwood Road. Any discussion regarding the appointment? Seeing none, motion?
Gail will move to concur with the mayor's appointment of Mary J. Geis, 3580 East Oakwood Road, the Celebrations Commission filling a vacant 3-year term expiring April of 2024.
Marshall will second.
Roll call?
Alderwoman Marshall?
Aye.
Gale?
Aye.
Guzekowski?
Aye.
Kirkowski?
Aye.
Lorik?
Aye. Item 6 is the License Committee. I will turn that over to Alderman Kirkowski.
Thank you, Mayor. I trust everybody's had an opportunity to view the rather extensive information on the Common Council report tonight. Does anybody have any questions, cares, or concerns? All right, Seeing none, Kirkowski will make a motion to approve the various license requests as listed on the March 7, 2023 License Committee report.
Clark seconds.
Roll call?
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
And item 7 is our vendor summary report for March 1st, 2023, in the amount of $500,000, $2,453.55. You take a look at your report, and if there are any questions, I would direct them to Max, I think. Max, I guess I got one. I don't know if you answer that, but item 13, just kind of an explanation. I've never seen that one before. $6,900 to U.S. Marshal Service for seized money.
So that would most likely be related to the asset forfeiture program. So we're just kind of the conduit. I think it went for us. We took receipt of it, and then it was probably a U.S. Marshal type case. So we're just paying it back out.
Okay, thank you.
Kirkowski.
Mayor, I can tell you that when drug investigations involve seized money, and perhaps we had an officer on the height of task force or something, and the Marshal Service are the custodians of the seized money, and it goes into an asset forfeiture fund, and then the departments will fill out a form to try and get some of that money back. So it's just part of the process.
Okay, thank you. There's no other questions or comments? Motion on 7?
I'll move to approve the March 1st, 2023 vendor summary report in the amount of $502,453.55.
Marshall will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
And item 8 is consideration of a motion to convene into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, to discuss the following. A, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub E, consider an amendment to TID number 11 Finance Development Agreement for Emerald Row Phase 1. Second amendment to TID number 11 Finance Development Agreement and Phase 3 Agreement for Emerald Row Phase 2 and 3, and TID number 11 Finance Development Agreement for Emerald Row Phase 3, parcels A and C. President Gale?
Thank you, Mayor. Gail moves to convene in the closed session pursuant to Wisconsin State Statute, Section 19.85, to discuss the following. A, Section 19.85, Sub 1, Sub E, to consider an amendment to TID number 11 Finance Development Agreement for Emerald Row Phase 1. Second amendment to TID number 11 Finance Development Agreement and Phase 3 Agreement for Emerald Row Phase 2 and 3. And TID number 11 Finance Development Agreement for Emerald Row Phase 3, parcels A and C.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Kirkowski.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
We will now convene into closed session and resume at its conclusion. Thank you.
Open here at least.
We'll now consider a motion to reconvene into open session.
Thank you, Mayor. Gail moves to reconvene in the open session.
Guzekowski will second.
Roll call?
Alderman Lorik.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye. Item 10 is consideration of resolution number 12384-01172.
Thank you, Mayor. Gail will move to place on file resolution number 12384-01172.
Clark seconds.
Roll call?
Alderwoman Marshall.
Aye.
Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Oh, that will move us to adjournment.
Marshall moves to adjourn.
Kirkowski will second.
Got a second somewhere. Roll call?
Alderman Gale.
Aye.
Guzekowski.
Aye.
Kirkowski.
Aye.
Lorik.
Aye.
Marshall.
Aye.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Have a great week. Thank you.